All right, so look, if you just had a baby, right? You take that baby and you throw them back like 20,000 years in the past, right? That baby gonna be stupid as fuck. I'm telling you, man. And then you take a baby born 20,000 years in the past and put them here, they might be smart because we got all this information. We got all this information. I'm gonna tell you this too. Intelligence is not how much you know, because we all have the internet right in our hand. We all got Google. We ain't using it. A lot of people ain't using it right, but we all got that shit. Information, we're in the information era. That does not mean intelligence. Intelligence is how easily and how well you process information, new information, how you can retain it, right? All right, Cleopatra, I mean, she was fluent in 5 languages. That's intelligence right there. You feel what I'm saying? Hold on, what's dude's name? Eratosthenes. He was from Cyrene. He was a polymath, right? That was like 2,000 years ago, right? He was a mathematician, a geographer. He was like a poet or some shit, astronomer, all that, like all types of shit, man. You got Einstein, like people like that, like I'm telling you, shit ain't gonna be no. It's not gonna be like that movie Idiocracy where everybody's just stupid because it's smart people being born every day, right? And the only difference between humans from, like, I'm talking about 20,000, 15,000, 30,000 years ago and humans now, the only difference, it's really no difference in the mind, but it's a difference in what makes. See, it's kind of complicated to say if we were smarter back then or smarter now, because we had, obviously, and I think a lot of people have this misconception that people was just dumb, just stupid, because, and this is why people seemed or came across as so dumb, right? A lot of information was not available, right? And a lot of things were not known because we didn't have internet. Nothing you could, like, information couldn't spread as fast as it does now. So some shit, a study comes out about this and it's all over the news, all over the internet, and you already know about it. And it's like, all right, cool. Back then, only like 10% of the population at a certain time period could read or write. Most people couldn't. It was reserved for the royalty, the royal class and shit like that. So yeah, like, it's been intelligent people all throughout history, all throughout the history of the world. And just so you know, like, the most intelligent, if you take the most intelligent like dolphin or the most intelligent like dog or chimpanzee or something, they can compete with like a really stupid human. Like an adult human, probably. It's some like I'm talking about a normal functioning adult human. It's some really, really slow, really, like, really not smart adult humans. But for, like, the most smartest animals could operate at like a kind of a kindergarten level at to a certain, maybe pre-K level to a certain degree or whatever like that. But what I'm saying is yeah, if because a lot of people have asked this question, like, would we be, are we smarter today than we were now? We're lazier today, I'll tell you that. We have the potential to be smarter, all right? But a lot of things affect intelligence, like and this is why it's hard to tell. You got DNA, like, genetics, nutrition, medical shit. Like, back then, a lot of times people died very young, get a fucking brain injury and shit, and it's a wrap. Right now, we got medical science that could, get us, past this shit. And all the science and shit is on the backs of people from thousands of years ago that already discovered, like, mathematicians from way in the past in Africa and shit. All this shit is from the past. But now we're reaping the benefits of it, but we're more lazy. So we're more slow, we're more stupid. It's fucking crazy. You could learn anything, but nobody wants to learn. You know what I mean? So, it's a tough question to answer, but just to make it simple, shit, it's not a simple question to answer. You have to literally dig up somebody, and, what I'm saying, from thousands of years ago, which is impossible, and test the genetics and the genes and DNA and shit. But a lot of foods we eat make us stupid. Like the processed foods, corn syrup and shit. A lot of like, we're on our phones all day, and that's burning brain cells right there too. Taking in information, thing after thing after thing, is frying our brains. We're frying our brains every day when we get on social media or on the internet, and we're reading an article for 30 seconds, watching a 30-second video clip. You know what I'm saying? And going to the next one, then to the next one, then to the next one, then to the next one, constantly cramming shit, and not only some useful information look, here's what I'm gonna tell you. So when you're on the internet and you scrolling and you're taking the information, right? A lot of the shit is not useful at all, right? It's not useful. And then when you finally get to something that is actually going to be important for the mind, it's not going to stick because you've already taken in like 60 different things. So your brain is going everywhere and shit like that. That's the type of environment we live in. That people didn't have to live in that environment, back in the day. You take Bill Gates and you toss him into the before we had like societies like this era, the hunter and gatherer era, he'd be lion food. It would be a wrap. That's what I'm trying to say. It would be a wrap. So it's a tough question to answer. You know what I'm saying? But, just a little insight into that. What other factors we got, man? What other factors we got that play something into like the intelligence shit? You have I already talked about that malnutrition, you know, but look, you had like Galileo, Plato, Confucius, Einstein, Aristotle, all that shit. Um, uh, 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 Shoot, the Babylonians developed math about 5,000 years ago or some shit like that. But you gotta look at it also like this. The reason why I would say it's more smart people today than it was back then, because a reason for that is because we just have more people. So of course we're gonna have intelligent people being born a lot more than what it was back then. But if you chop our population in half, you cut it down to what it was back in like 500 BC or some shit like that, it'd be a lot more even of a playing field. But I think people from back then could easily learn a lot of the shit, and they could adapt if given enough time and given the right information, given the right tools and shit. But I mean, come on, man. But you take people from here and you throw them back in the past without the luxuries and all that shit that makes them tick. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. They're done. So you could say that people in the past got it, but it just what they. It was ignorance really more than lack of intelligence. Because obviously, like I said, I named a few people and, all that shit. It was obviously some very intelligent people. Shout out to Cleopatra, though, man. That's crazy. 5 different languages. I'm trying to get to that level. But yeah, man.